Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good to see all of you here, and Shabbat Shalom also to those joining us online. It's always good to be together in this special space. I want to frame our time together this morning through the lens of the first or the second pasuk of the Parsha this week, Parashat Trumah. Beautiful instruction that is given. Vayikhu teruma me'et kol ish asher yidvenu libo tikhu et trumati. They should take, God is instructing Moshe to tell the people, they should take for me a truma from every person whose heart is generous. They should take a gift for me. The word truma, which is generally translated as gift, Rashi teaches is actually from the same root as the word leharim, to elevate. So while it has become the word for donate, it also has a sense of elevation. So what does it mean that this gift is an elevation? The idea that the elevation comes through the nidivut, the generosity, the giving of our hearts. That these materials, we're about to get a long list of materials that are to be brought for the construction of the Mishkan. And these materials, wood, copper, gold, that could be used in a very mundane and ordinary way, actually become elevated through the generosity or through the giving and the openness of our heart. And this is, I think, very true of our mindfulness practice, that the simplest things that could be very mundane or base, eating, breathing, walking down the street, we can walk quickly, or we can slow down and really notice our bodies and elevate the experience of walking. We can scarf down and eat on the run, eat our lunch on the run, or we can mindfully take bites and say brachot and elevate the experience of eating through the giving of our heart, through the attention and through the intention that we give to that act. So I want to invite you this morning, and we'll do this at a couple of points throughout the service, as we begin, and we'll turn in a moment to Moda'ani or Moda'ani, page 99, followed by Elohai Neshama. What is your heart intention for being here today? What is the generosity or the giving that is in your heart that will elevate simple words on a page to the level of being a truma, an elevated gift? So just take a moment. What is your heart intention? And now, specifically for the words of Moda'ani, I am grateful before you, the one who has dominion, control over all, that you've returned my soul to me, Shechazarta binishmati, with great emunah, with great trust in me. What is your heart intention for this tefillah? What do you want to bring to this expression of gratitude?
Father.
Sitting for a moment with the reverberations of the chanting, noticing if there was anything different for you in that today when you brought a directed intention. Going to turn to page 132 for Hodu Lashem Kitov, which is also known as the Great Hallel, because it lists all of the things that God has done for us, for the Jewish people, at least until a certain moment in history, and expresses gratitude for all of those things. So I first want to invite you, again, to consider a heart intention for this prayer. The list ends, but history has continued until this moment. So what do you want to add? What is in your own heart that you would add to this list of things to express gratitude and praise for? When we sing this beautiful psalm in the main sanctuary, we remain seated, but there are some who have a tradition to stand while singing this particular parak of Tehillim, because again, it's the great Hallel, so we elevate ourselves in body so that we can elevate ourselves in soul. And so I want to invite you to do that this morning. Rising as you are able.
Stay here.
You stay there.
I'm going to stay right here.
One of the elements of the Mishkan is the menorah, the candelabra. And while we generally think of most of us generally think of a menorah as having curved branches, the way that the Torah describes the menorah actually suggests that the branches were straight and coming in to a base. And that is the form of the Chanukiah that you see when you see a Chabad Chanukiah, right? It looks like this, not like this. And that is because the Lubavitcher Rebbe insisted that the menorah or the Chanukiah be formed according to the instructions given in our Parsha this week, and not according to the depiction of the menorah on the Arch of Titus in Rome that shows the destruction of the temple and the people. And he said, our Chanukiah, our menorah, should be coming from a source of pride and holiness, not the lowest moment for our people. So as we enter into this great Hallel and consider all of the things in our lives that are places of pride and places of gratitude and places of hope, I want to first ask you to really stretch in to the shape of a menorah. Like arms really straight and fingers pointing out, and maybe making your heart a little bit more open. Taking some full, deep breaths here. Feeling the expansiveness of the lungs and the rib cage, and really the entire body. To breathe in, to breathe out. To offer praise, to offer gratitude. And just take a look around this room and see all of the beautiful menorot that are sparkling here with their own light. If you want to try keeping your arms up while we sing this, you're welcome to. Or you can bring them down. If you want to remain standing, I would encourage that and see how the singing of these words today in a physically elevated stance maybe brings a little more elevation as we sing these words, page 132. Again, breathing into that fullness, that joy, that pride. And you can take a seat.
Page 134. That's right. Just getting you ready.
134. Tov lahodot l'Adonai. Yizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Psalm for Shabbat is the psalm of Shabbat. It's the song of Shabbat. It's the melody. It's the theme. And even though it begins Tov lahodot l'Adonai, which translates as it's good to practice gratitude, we can play around with it a little bit, and we can just translate it as Tov, goodness, lahodot l'Adonai. So it's an invitation for us to imagine this time, this moment, this day, as a time where we spend the whole week with a critical eye towards ourselves, towards the world, towards each other. One day a week, we try to see the goodness in ourselves, see the goodness in each other, see the goodness in the world. Only. It's one day of the week when it actually is true to say, it's all good. It's all good. So let's, before we chant the beginning of the psalm and enter into the song of Shabbat, let's just take a moment to consider and reflect on the goodness in our lives amidst all that's serious and all the challenges. And even if it's just one aspect of your life that you can call up, hold in mind, hold in your heart, a good friend or a beautiful moment from this week, a source of gratitude. It could be that good cup of coffee in the morning, or the second, or the third. Or a delicious taste. Or the voice of a good friend. Or a memory that sparks gratitude. To sit with Tov. It's a day of Tov. Tov lahodot l'Adonai.
Amen. turn to page 136 to Ashray. Ashray, a prayer, a psalm of fullness. Line after line, it moves through the alphabet, an acrostic meant to suggest completeness and wholeness, a world in which everything has its place. It speaks of praise that never ends, of needs being met, of hands opened, at sustenance being received at exactly the right moment. And yet for a psalm that reflects all this, it's kind of funny. Because if you look through the alphabet on the acrostic, you'll notice that one letter is missing. As we're building this sense of completeness, it's incomplete. The letter nun is nowhere to be found in this acrostic. Some explain it as a nod to nofel, falling, an acknowledgement that brokenness is a part of the human story. Others might just sit with that gap itself, a reminder that even our most complete prayers are themselves incomplete. And Ashray gives us an opportunity to live inside that tension, to offer praise while something's missing, to cultivate contentment without pretending that our life is whole, to breathe gratitude not because everything is okay, but because even now, especially now, there is still goodness, still kindness, still enough to take the next breath. As we enter Ashray, we don't rush past that absence. We let it be here with us. We notice what feels full. We notice what doesn't. And we practice the quiet courage of holding both, trusting that a life of blessing does not require perfection. It does not require everything, but it does require us to be present and to notice. Page 136. Ashray yoshvei veitecha od Hallelu chasela Ashray ha'am shekach lo Ashray ha'am she'Adonai Eloham Ashray yoshvei veitecha תהילת אדוני ידבר בי, ויברך כל בשר, שם קודשו לעולם ועד.
Hallelujah. Even in the brokenness, it's all good.
All good.
Shema Yisrael. What does it really mean to hear? What does it really mean to listen? This word Shema is translated as both. Take a moment to listen. Listen. Can you hear any sounds outside of this room? Listen, can you hear sounds inside of this room? Listen, what can you hear emanating from within yourself? It is almost always the case that when we think it's quiet, when we think it's silent, if we listen, we will hear something. So as we turn to page 155 for the words of the Shema, I ask you again to consider what is your heart intention for this moment of listening. we traditionally cover our eyes so we can listen even more deeply with even more intention.
From Shema and V'ahavta and the paragraphs of the Shema, we move towards Birkat Gula, the blessing of redemption, of moving through the narrow place to a place of greater freedom and expansion. And this past week, Monday night, I witnessed young people dancing on the streets of Jerusalem at a winter festival, February winter festival outside the halls of the Bezalel Art School. It's a tradition. Young people dancing, and friends said it was the first time that they had seen such a scene since the war began. And it was especially poignant since the day before my wife and I had gone to the site of the Nova Festival. It was just so poignant to see young people, the same demographic, dancing, who were memorialized at that site. And I thought about the phrase which has become popular, joy is an act of resistance. There's all kinds of joy. We are now in the month of Adar, and we learn from the Talmud that when we move into the month of Adar, we increase in simcha, in joy. Comes in all varieties, the joy. One thing I didn't know was that that phrase, joy is an act of resistance, comes from a poem by a Black American poet, Toy Derricotte. Beginning of a poem by a Black woman, this being also Black History Month, as well as the month of Adar. It's a poem about her goldfish, about the joy of a goldfish. It's called The Telecycle. Why would a Black woman need a fish to love? Why did she need a flash of red living in the corner of her eye? As if she could love nothing up close, but had to step away from it, come back to drop a few seeds and let it grab onto her, as if it caught her on some hook that couldn't hurt. Why did she need a fish, a red thorn, or among the thorns that flower? What does her love have to do with 500 years of sorrow? And then joy coming up like a small breath, a bubble. What does it have to do with the graveyards of the Atlantic in her mother's heart? Joy coming up like a small breath, a bubble. Sometimes joy can be just that. It can be the bubble that comes up. And in another poem, she writes about her goldfish jumping out of the bowl and kissing her on her lips. So I want to invite us to, as a prelude to Bi Chamocha, and in that spirit, and the simple ways in which we can experience Simcha in our lives, let me offer this prayer for joy. Stuart Kestenbaum. What was it we wanted to say anyhow? Like today, when they were all the letters in my alphabet soup, and suddenly the J rises to the surface. The J, a letter that might be great for Scrabble, but not really used for much else, unless we need to jump for joy. And then all of a sudden it's there and ready to help us soar and to open up our hearts at the same time. This simple line with a curved bottom, an upside down cane that helps us walk in a new way into this forest of language where all the letters are beginning to speak, finding each other in just the right combination to be understood. So to lead into Mi Chamocha before we sing it, let's take a moment here to see if you can notice Simcha bubbling up under the surface. Just notice its presence, regardless of the state of affairs in the world or in our lives. How critical it is to be able to access that joy, to be able to take the step forward into the sea or into the language of words, to find the right words that will unlock freedom, unlock justice. Always there, ready to jump out of the bowl and kiss us.
As we prepare to rise, body or spirit, to elevate ourselves, our souls, either through the words of the Amidah, beginning on page 159, or through the words of your own heart, or through the listening that you might bring to this moment. Before you begin, asking yourself once more, what is my heart intention for this prayer? What is my heart intention for this prayer? Is it to hear what can be heard when things are quiet? Is it to feel the holiness of the day of Shabbat? Is it to feel more grounded in my body, noticing the way the ground supports my feet? And when you're ready, you can rise again in body or spirit and begin your own silent Amidah, page 159.
Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru,
How do you want to make this tefillah a trumah, a real gift from the heart? How do you want to elevate it? Our final song, sing out loud, raise your arms. Maybe you even want to jump for joy. Let's bring all our trumot from our nidivut nadav to this moment.
Oh, say shalom Roma, yaseh shalom
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Mark and Dave and Liard and Demetrius, who are helping with our sound this morning. Thank you all for bringing your souls and yourselves. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Then there's
There's more.
But wait, there's more. Can we do this every week? Huh?